The clock glowed 2:17 a.m. in faint red digits across the dark bedroom. Daniel Blake had never been a heavy sleeper, but that night he woke up to something sharper than usual, the shrill, vibrating ring of his cell phone. At first, he thought he was dreaming. Who would call at this hour? His friends knew better. His family lived states away. He rubbed his eyes, groaned, and reached for the phone on the nightstand. The screen made his chest tighten. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. His own number. For a moment, he sat frozen in bed, watching the glow of his name flash on the screen. His finger hovered over the accept button, but his instincts screamed against it. He pressed decline. The ringing stopped, leaving the apartment in suffocating silence. He tried to calm himself. Some kind of scam, a spoofed number, happens all the time. But just as he sank back into bed, the phone buzzed again. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. This time, it rang longer, more insistent, each vibration rattling against the wood like a heartbeat. Daniel's throat went dry. Against his better judgment, he swiped the green circle and pressed the phone to his ear. Hello! His voice cracked. For a moment, nothing. Then, breathing. Shallow, panicked breathing. And then, a voice he recognized instantly because it was his own. Don't open the door. Daniel sat up straight, his heart pounding. What? Who is this? The voice on the other end broke, trembling with fear. It's me. It's you. Listen to me carefully. Don't open the door. No matter what happens. Promise me. A loud bang echoed through the line, like a fist pounding against wood. The breathing stopped. The call cut out. Daniel was left clutching the phone, staring into the dark room, when a knock sounded at his own apartment door. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. The knock came again, louder this time. 3 sharp raps. Boom, boom, boom. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. His apartment door was only a few feet away from his bedroom. Thin walls, cheap lock, no chain. Whoever was out there could break it in with a single kick. The phone screen was still glowing in his hand. He tried to call back his number, but it went straight to voicemail. Another knock, then silence. He crept out of bed, each step on the creaking floorboards like a gunshot in the silence. He didn't dare turn on the lights. His eyes strained in the dark, locked on the faint outline of the front door. He whispered to himself, "Don't open the door. Don't open the door." But the curiosity burned at him. What if it was a neighbor in trouble? What if someone needed help? He inched closer until he was standing just inches away. He pressed his ear to the wood. First nothing. Then a whisper, low, deliberate, right on the other side. "Daniel, open up." His heart dropped. The voice was his own voice. Daniel stumbled backward, nearly tripping over the coffee table. He grabbed his phone again, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. The operator picked up. 911, what's your emergency? There's someone at my door, he whispered, trying to control his breathing. They sound like me. I don't know what's happening, but I got a call. From my own number. Someone telling me not to open the door. Please, just send someone. The operator's voice was calm. Sir, stay calm. We're sending a unit to your address. Don't approach the door. I won't. But even as he said it, his eyes darted back to the door. Silence again. The knocks had stopped. No voice. Then his phone vibrated. Another call. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. His knees nearly buckled. He answered it with trembling hands. Hello. This time the voice was clearer. Still his, but older somehow, worn with exhaustion and terror. They'll trick you, the voice said. They'll sound like you. They'll be you. Whatever happens, don't look at them. Don't. A static burst cut through the words, shrill and painful. Then, in the faint crackle, Daniel heard whispering. Not one voice, but many. Low, layered, chanting something he couldn't understand. And then the line went dead again. The apartment felt smaller now, walls pressing in on him. Daniel tried to steady his breathing, gripping the phone like a lifeline. He wanted to believe this was just a sick prank. Some tech-savvy idiot spoofing his number. But the sound of his own voice warning him? The way it knew what would happen before it happened? That couldn't be explained. The door creaked. Not from knocking this time, but from pressure, as if someone was leaning against it. "Daniel?" The whisper came again, but this time it wasn't faint. It was clear, familiar, warm, even like listening to a recording of himself. "It's okay now. You can open it." He froze. His earlier call echoed in his mind. "Don't open the door." He backed into the bedroom, shutting the door quietly. He needed noise, something normal. He turned on the TV. Static. Every channel. Just static. Then his reflection appeared in the black screen between channels. Not his reflection exactly. His face stared back, but the eyes were wrong, sunken, dark, moving a fraction of a second slower than he did. He snapped the TV off, heart hammering. The knock came again, harder now. Boom, boom, boom. And then, with a suddenness that made his stomach drop, the doorknob began to turn. Red and blue lights finally spilled through the blinds. A siren cut through the night. Relief surged through Daniel as he heard footsteps rushing up the stairwell. A voice called out, "Police! Open up!" Daniel hesitated. He glanced at the door, his hand inches from the lock. Police. Safe. He should open. Then his phone vibrated again. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. He answered instantly, desperate now. "What do I do? The cops are here." His own voice came back, frantic. "Don't let them in. It's not them. Please. God. Don't open it." The pounding on the door grew louder. "Sir. Police. Open the door now." Daniel's chest heaved. He looked between the door and the glowing phone in his hand. He had no idea who to trust anymore. Strangers outside claiming to be police, or the terrified echo of his own future self. "Sir, open up or we'll force entry." The door rattled on its hinges. And then silence. The footsteps faded. The sirens cut out. When Daniel dared peek through the peephole, the hallway was empty. The night dragged on in suffocating silence. Daniel stayed curled in his bedroom, clutching a kitchen knife he barely remembered grabbing. The phone sat on the bed beside him, dark and still. At some point, exhaustion pulled at him, and his eyes fluttered shut. He woke hours later to the sound of his phone buzzing again. Sunlight was barely creeping through the blinds, a pale gray morning. His heart sank as he read the screen. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. He answered with a shaky whisper. "Please, just tell me what's happening." This time the voice was calmer, steadier, though still his own. "Listen carefully. You can't escape it. I tried. I've been you again and again. Every time it ends the same. The knock, the door, the choice, and then them." "Who's them?" Daniel demanded, his throat raw. But instead of an answer, he heard it. Breathing. Not from the phone this time, from the hallway just outside his bedroom door. Slowly, the door creaked open. And there he was. Himself. Daniel's knees gave out as he stared into his own face. Same clothes. Same tired eyes. But the smile wrong. Stretched too wide. Teeth too sharp. The thing stepped into the room, tilting its head. "I told you not to open the door." Daniel's breath came in shallow bursts. He pressed himself against the far wall, clutching the knife so tightly his knuckles burned. The thing, his double, took a slow step forward. Its movements were unnervingly fluid, almost rehearsed, as though it had practiced being him for years. Daniel raised the knife. "Stay back." The double only smiled wider. "You think that will help?" Its voice was perfect, identical, but with a hollow echo beneath it. "You called me. You always do." Daniel's mind reeled. "I didn't call you." The double cocked its head. "Check the logs." His trembling hand unlocked the phone. The call history lit up. His heart stopped. Every single incoming call was listed under his own name. But the timestamps, they weren't in order. Some were dated hours into the future. Others were stamped with times that hadn't happened yet. And one, just one, was marked for tomorrow at 2:17 a.m. The double circled him like a predator, brushing its fingers along the furniture, the walls, as though familiar with everything. "You think you're the first?" it whispered. You're not. You're just the latest version. Each one of us thinks we can fight it, but we always end up here, in this room, knife in hand, terrified of ourselves. Daniel shook his head violently.
No.
I'm not you. I'm not. The double lunged forward, grabbing his wrist with inhuman strength. The knife clattered to the floor. Its eyes, so close now, were black pits swirling with faint, moving shapes. Faces. Mouths. Dozens of silent versions of him screaming. Daniel felt his mind fracturing. He shoved the thing back with all his strength, stumbling toward the bathroom. He slammed the door shut, locking it, heart racing. The mirror above the sink reflected his pale, trembling face. But his reflection didn't move. It stared back at him, motionless, before slowly raising its hand to the glass. And then it spoke, lips curling into a grim smile. They told you not to open the door. They never said anything about the mirror. The glass cracked like ice under pressure. Daniel's scream lodged in his throat as the cracks spiderwebbed across the mirror. His reflection leaned closer, pushing against the breaking surface, its smile splitting wider and wider. And then his phone buzzed again. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. Time? Tomorrow? 2:17 a.m. Hands shaking, he answered. The voice on the line was desperate, broken, choking back tears. Please listen. You won't survive if you stay. Leave the apartment before nightfall. Destroy the phone. Burn it if you can. That's the only chance we have. Daniel gasped. Is this really me? A pause. Then, yes. But not for long. The call ended in a burst of static. Behind him, the mirror shattered outward, spraying shards into the room. And when Daniel turned, his reflection stepped through. The sun was already setting. Daniel sat on the floor, surrounded by glass, the phone heavy in his hand. His apartment was silent, but his mind screamed with echoes of every voice, every warning. He thought about running, packing a bag, leaving the city. But where would he go? The calls would follow. The voice was his. The shadow was his. He couldn't outrun himself. As the last light of dusk bled from the window, the phone buzzed again. He didn't want to look, but he did. Incoming call, Daniel Blake. This time he didn't answer. He hurled the phone across the room. Cracked against the wall, screen spiderwebbing. Silence. Then 3 slow, deliberate knocks at the door. Boom, boom, boom. Daniel staggered to his feet, glass crunching underfoot. He reached for the knife again, gripping it tight. The knock came once more, followed by his own voice, calm and steady. Daniel, it's time. The doorknob turned. The door creaked open, and in the darkness beyond, dozens of pale faces smiled back at him. Every version of himself that had ever answered the call.